Are you ready?
I'm ready, yeah, thank you.
Hello classmates, I'm Chad Ritchie, and today I'm going to explain how to hang drywall. According to HomeWise.com, it costs between $250 and $300 to have just a 3 by 3 foot area drywall replaced in your home. Now, you may be wondering why this concerns you, but drywall, as seen here and surrounding the class, is not very strong and can be easily damaged by water leakage, mold, someone being angry, or moving furniture. So if this scenario happens to occur, you can either pay an expensive contractor to fix it or fix it yourself. Today I will explain how to fix drywall yourself in 3 basic steps. The first step is acquiring materials, the second step is installing the drywall, and the third step is finishing the drywall. Now, the first thing to do is get materials. You will need a tape measure for measuring the area. You'll need a pencil for marking the stud location. You'll need a T-square and box cutter for actually cutting the drywall. You'll need the drywall, which comes in 8 by 4 or 12 by 4 foot pieces. You'll need the hammer and drywall nails for securing the drywall. And you will need these 4 items, which are a pan, joint compound, drywall mesh tape, and a paint scraper for finishing the drywall. Now the first step is to take your tape measure for wherever your area is and to measure the width and height of the space needed. Once you have that dimension, simply transfer it onto the piece of drywall and mark that location that needs to be cut with your pencil. Once you do that, take your T-square, which sits nicely on top of the drywall, and line it up with the dot. Once it's lined up, take your box cutter and simply cut along the line, and this will provide a nice straight line as a guide. And you're not trying to cut through the drywall, you're just trying to score it. Once you do so, you can go to the back of the sheet, putting your knee behind the line, and simply pull both sides, and it will break cleanly. All you will have to do after that is cut a thin brown piece of paper, and it'll be all ready. Once you've done that, transport it to the site needing drywall, and we can begin installing. Once you arrive at your site, it'll look something like this. These boards running down are 2 by 4s known as studs, and that's what you're going to be nailing into. And if you were, although this is a huge space, if you were to have a piece cover the entire area, you need to know where they are when you're nailing. So just go down to the bottom and simply put a mark with your pencil so you can use it as a reference when nailing. And once you do this, you're ready to begin installing. This is when you might want to have a friend, because drywall sheets weigh up to 60 pounds, so trying to hold it up yourself would be tough. So once you have the piece secured, let's say to this top corner, try to make it as I would say as close to both existing pieces of drywall as possible to make it flush for the finishing process, and then therefore it will be much easier. Once you do so, you can begin nailing. When nailing, it's important to nail into the drywall, making an actual indentation. Therefore, when you finish, it can just go straight over. So definitely try to avoid having drywall nails heads exposed on the top. And when you're nailing, if you happen to feel no resistance, like you missed a stud, just nail it in, because it'll most likely do more damage to try to pull it out. And also, as far as the structure, you should put 2 nails in each of the 4 corners and 1 nail in every foot of the stud that's not a corner. Once you've done all this, your product will look like this, which isn't glamorous, but now it's time to finish. In the finishing process, you should put your joint compound in a pan, have your paint scraper ready, and follow this step as seen here. Put a lot of joint compound on your paint scraper, applying a lot of pressure as you go across the seam, making sure that the entire seam is filled with the joint compound. You will do the same for the nails too, just trying to cover every piece of texture possible. Once you have done that, with your drywall tape, cover the seams exactly where they were, and you can also use your paint scraper to apply pressure so you really make sure it's packed down and as smooth as possible. After all of this, on an up close scale, it will be pretty smooth and look like this, and on a larger scale, over here, all of these thin lines are nails that were existing and now covered, and all these lines were seams that are now covered. And if done correctly, it should be relatively smooth. And if you're successful and get to this step, you will be able to prime and begin painting. Now that we have successfully learned how to install drywall, let me review what we learned. Drywall should be done in 3 basic steps. The first step is acquiring your materials. The second step is the installation process, and the third step is the finishing process. And if you decide to do drywall yourself, it is a relatively obtainable skill as long as you're willing to put in the effort. And by doing your own drywall, you can save yourself a lot of money down the road. And for anyone who does not need drywall repair done in their house right now, I encourage everyone to go to Habitat for Humanity, which is where I learned my skill, and volunteer, where you could learn the skill firsthand and be assisting local families who are in need. Thank you.